nothing was going the way that I planned, right? And so I make this, kind of leap and jump in and come to Columbus and start into all these things. And, I share all that because, I say that I recruit good old boys. Like I look for guys that kind of match that same demeanor, right? Because I'm like, if these guys can, know how to work, that's the hardest part, right? In today's society, it's like someone to work 8, 10, 12 hours. It's like there's a lot of entitlement. There's a lot of this, it feels like it should be easier than it is, maybe. And so for me, like I'm always looking for those kind of guys. And our whole team is built from guys that had no sales experience that, come in and are able to become, the great salespeople. And, one of the biggest things is that, I tell them all, it's like, you got to have a vision. You got to have a vision for where you're going. And if you don't, if someone doesn't sit down with you and help work you through that and help you to create a vision, most of us have never created a vision, right? When a lot of these guys come into my business, they have no clue where they're going. They have been head down, just moving. And I always say that, hustling's easy, mastery is what's going to cost you. Yeah. Mastery is the skill set that most people ignore. Right. Because hustle, it's like it's active, it's moving. It's like I can convince myself that I'm doing something. Where when you got to master something, you got to study it and you got to learn it and you got to figure it out and you got to expand on it and you got to try it and you got to reflect on it. And like that takes more time, but exponentially you will blow past the guys that are hustling. And, so for me, it was very similar to that, right? I get up here and my first kind of tranche into entrepreneurship was real estate investing. And so I learned how to do wholesaling and, doing this. And I went out and started raising money from investors and shaking hands and just, nonstop meeting people. But, I ended up getting in with a bad deal per se, a bad partnership. And it pretty much crushed me. Like I remember I was in the gym kind of spiraling out of control. And a mentor of mine was like, hey, man, you should start a roofing company. And I'm like, a roofing company? I'm like, bro, have you seen me, man? Like, I'm too pretty to be, laying a roof. He's like, no, no, no. And he's like, it's sales and marketing. He's like, it's really a sales and marketing, man. He's like, you've already got a decent brand through bodybuilding and all these things. And he's like, so people are already kind of looking at you. He's like, they need to figure out how they can work with you or for you. And he's like, I'm telling you, the roofing space, like you can go out and knock a door today and you can make money.